Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, the seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I am Akila Textry, in the divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from nowhere other than 5D. I'm doing 10 because I'm happy. 5D, the fifth dimension, 5D consciousness. So as usual, I'm here to give you the news to infuse if you so choose to infuse. So I'm going to infuse with this light grid and this light grid activation. Let's activate. All right. So this is happy. Let me say this first. Happy total solar eclipse, new moon in Aries. Happy eclipse time, right? And something I want us to know that allow us to not be eclipsed by the eclipse, because it's more than that. And I'm going to do a whole different video on that after these series. So with that said, this is step 4 or day 4 of the series that I'm doing now, total solar eclipse, total solar new moon eclipse, right? And it's a new moon manifestations. And this is incorporating the energy centers. So we're going from the crown on down into touching each energy center as we parallel it with the creative story. And this is a series that I'm doing now to kind of share with you what I usually do with the new moon. And I have shared it with previous workshops. Usually I share them with people who have already done the full moon transmutation workshop, because it's when you clear and remove the blocks through transmuting them, then you open the way for manifestation. That's why some of you are not manifesting, no matter what programs you do, because you have not cleared up what you needed to clear up. So I strongly suggest doing full moon transmutations first and seeing if that makes a difference. But even if you don't do it, just understanding these steps with the manifestation that I'm sharing with you now will help you see how we intentionally and purposefully play a part in the creative story, as we are co-creators with this energy and with this essence and everything that we bring into our life, world, and affairs, right? So let me share this with you, but first I'd like to just say thank you to those of you who have been tuned in, who have been commenting, who have subscribed, because the numbers are growing. And I guess it's really happening with this new moon. It's a lesson for me in itself. As I've mentioned before, I usually stay away from the masses, but I'm not allowing that fear. There's no fear here. So I will continue to grow and show up and share whatever it is that I have. No backing down. So thank you all for brooding in and sharing that. So with that said, let's jump right in, because I'm excited. I'm in my green. This is the heart chakra, because by the time we get to the moon, it's usually on the heart chakra. Whether it's full moon or new moon, on the 4th day, we are in the heart, because this is a 7-day process, 7-day step, where the moon is most potent 3 days before and 3 days after. So that's why I utilize this, which means we would have started this on the 25th, starting on the crown chakra. And on the 4th day, we reach the heart. And this is where we're like washing it over in the moon. And what a washing did we do today, as that eclipse just came in. Total eclipse of the heart came in and removed what needed to be removed off of the ego, right? So that moon, remember, the moon represents our inner world. And so that inner world was coming and eclipsing the subconscious inner world. The innermost parts was eclipsing our outer world, as the sun usually represents, getting rid of the misappropriated ego, washing it away, washing it away. And as it passes by, it should leave behind, this is what it should represent: a clean ego, a wise ego, ready to reinvent yourself. This is why this is really important. This total eclipse specifically is really important. All eclipses, They are like moon on 10, right? But this one is specifically important. And what I like us to remember is that it's aligned with the nodes. So don't allow that eclipse to eclipse you from the nodes, the north node, south node. That's the work that's really happening. But we'll do a separate video for that one. So with that, let's get right into what we are doing. For those of you who don't know, this may be your first time in one of the manifestation series. For those of you who have been in, this is a touch-up and a new one. We're on day 4, step 4, so we're getting some new information about that day and that step. But what it is we're paralleling using the energy centers, and I'm paralleling it to the creative story in Genesis, which I call the creative process, because that story is an allegory and there's a metaphysical meaning and an esoteric meaning. So let's go deep and dive in with me as we look at this from a metaphysical standpoint, which brings you into your soul's capacity, right? For you to see how this affects us at a soul level, for the soul consciousness, right? And being that the masculine and feminine, which is the conscious and subconscious mind, that's your soul, that's your sun and your moon, by the way. Your will and your ego is the actual conscious and subconscious mind. So that's the dance that was happening today. It wasn't just an outer body sun and moon, it was an inner body, your inner mind, inner soul work, right? The sun and moon was your conscious and your subconscious doing a dance, right? The masculine and feminine doing a dance. There's a harmony that is happening because the new moon is when it comes into alignment, right? And that it allows that feminine energy to eclipse that masculine energy, to eclipse the subconscious, to eclipse that conscious, and say, hey, we need to look at this, right, from our perspective, right? So with that, let's go in. Now that you have a better understanding, let me catch you up to where we are. There's some questions that goes with it, but you may have to watch each individual one to get the question for that day. So I'm just going to briefly catch us up, going in order from the crown going down, and then I'll give us the information on the heart chakra, the 4th day and 4th step, and the questions that go with that. So with that said, let's go ahead and start with the crown. From the crown going on down, manifest with me, co-creators that you are, infinite beings that you are. So on the day 1, as they have it, so you will hear me paralleling it with the Genesis story. Allegory, please remember. So let's go. Crown, this is the day, on the first day, first step is illumination, right? So before I go into it, let me give you the 7 days. Illumination is day 1. Faith is day 2, or step 2. Imagination is 3. Will and understanding is 4 at the heart chakra. Discrimination is 5 at the solar plexus. Realization is 6 at the sacral. And rest is 7 at the roots, right? Just like why they say the 7th day was rest, but we ain't talking about sleepy rest, but that's for another day. We'll get into that. We're coming up to it, right? So day 1 is step 1, illumination, metaphysically meaning the first step in the creative process. And when we're manifesting, the first step is illumination. There has to be some kind of illumination. Let there be light, type of thing that is happening. So on this day, this is the day where the divine idea comes to be illumined in the mind, which is the illumination. It is when the divinity of man is being bestowed upon him. This divinity is being or becoming from the void of nothingness, which we know is darkness, into the vessel of light, or what we see as everything. So that nothingness is not because it's nothing out there. When it says there was void, it means everything out there in the ethers. There was no attachment to any particular thing, right? So no thingness, right? And coming from not being attached to anything and bringing it into an awareness, bringing it into illumination, is let there be light. Aha, light bulb, right? Got to get that light bulb idea going on. As I've been saying in every video, you're a light bulb because we are divine expressions that come from the divine idea. And as co-creators, we co-create and we have a divine idea that brings into expression, which is your manifestation, right? So there's that let there be light. And then there's questions to go with that. That's on the first video, so you can watch that to see that question. And then we go into the second day or second step when we're coming down into our third eye now, which is faith. And this day, this is the day that we see our unlimited potentials and possibilities, right? By looking beyond the horizon to behold what the eyes cannot behold. Faith. Faith is when you can see without seeing, right? We're not going by what we see with our two eyes, right? And this is faith. This is the most important step, and it takes a big leap of faith to do, right? And we must remove all limitations in order to trust our intuition. This is intuition. In order to trust our intuition to guide us from the nothingness into the everythingness of all potential and all possibilities of what we are creating. So it is coming from the nothingness of darkness into the light of everything. Is because once you said let there be light, you brought it into the light of everything. So that means everything possible. This is where it says where the waters and the firmament separate. The waters are unlimited potential, and the skies, the firmament, the dome is the dome is unlimited potential, and the waters are unlimited possibilities. So we need to be able to trust everything. This is where, as we're creating, you don't want to put your mind into it. This is why I said it's the most important step, because you want to go with your heart. Just ask your heart, what is it? And this is the step where you, if you're writing anything down, like I said in the previous video, it's where you're clustering and putting your ideas together, and you're just throwing it out there. You're not thinking about how it would happen, why it would happen. And that's why it takes great faith to be able to see beyond what your eyes can see. And that's the second step. Whether you're aware of it or not, we are creating, we're always using this creative process, right? And whether we think about it or not, unlimited possibilities are always out there. So this is a part of intentionally looking at our unlimited possibilities. That brings me into step 3 or day 3, where it says land emerge, right? So this is at the throat chakra, and this day is imagination. This metaphysical meaning is imagination, because we're coming from the imaging, from our what we've envisioned in faith with our insight, and bringing it into form. Imagination is how we bring things into form, right? Faith is the bridge that brings things over from the invisible, from the infinite, into visibility, right? That's the bridge. But imagination is what is the catalyst, right? So on this day, this is the third step. And on this day, this is the day that land emerge, as they said, which represents consciousness. Land is consciousness, also known as imagination. What we image, whatever we image in sight, coming from our insight, we bring into awareness. What we speak about, we bring about. We bring it into form, because what you speak, you have power. Words have power, and you bring it into form. We have, our thoughts have power, but our words cement it, right? And we must image a nation in order to bring awareness of what we are creating. Image a nation, imagination. So imagine your nation, image a nation, imagine your nation as being whatever you're trying to bring about in your life, world, and affairs. This true timeline. We are pushing into the true timeline. We are evolving, ascending souls that we are. All of this work that we're doing, and this imagination faculty is how we are bringing it into form. So this is where we're bringing whatever we are creating into awareness. So the question that we need to ask ourselves is, what needs to emerge, which you can look at the previous video for that to see what that question is. What is it that needs to emerge for us? And I did not write the questions down for today, but I'm going to have it. I know Spirit's going to bring it to me, because I do this all the time. So that is the third step, bringing it into form. So fourth step, as we have arrived on this day, fourth step, and 4th day. This is the day that the sun, the moon, and the stars were made, right? And remember, this is all already existing. We are just seeing the creative process happening, and we are a part of it. So at the heart chakra, the energy body, this is where we're seeing the divine energies in motion, the celestials, right? The sun and the moon, and how befitting it is of this day being the solar eclipse, where we saw this dance with the sun and the moon. And this is so on point with us seeing how the song, how the dance was from the lunar eclipse to now. The lunar eclipse, they were apart, they were in opposition, and they were highlighting the, you know, each other. The sun was shining its light and highlighting the culmination of the inner world, you know, but in opposition. And then by the time it comes to the new moon, they come together. Time to kiss and make up. You know, they're away, then they come apart. The song and dance between the sun and the moon. Very intrinsic and very purposeful by divine design, right? So the heart, on the heart, it says that this is the day, it, spirit, this is the day that the sun, the moon, and the stars were made, which represents the guidance and the order, which is will and understanding. The sun is will, the moon is understanding, right? So this is why the metaphysical meaning for this day is will and understanding. The sun, your will, is the greater light that rules the day, which is the action to do, right? The ego, i.e. the ego, always wanting to do, the action aspect of ourself, right? And the moon, your understanding, is the lesser light that rules the night, which gives the introspection to listen, intuition. That's why it is the subconscious mind. It is the intuition, is the feminine aspect, right? Mind you, the sun is the masculine aspect, the moon is the feminine aspect, right? So the stars are the celestial bodies that align with the sun and the moon to organize order of guidance, right? And this is the love that bridges the order of structure for what we are creating. The heart chakra, the love is the binding agent that brings it all together, coming from the ethers. If you're thinking about us manifesting from the invisible to the visible, bringing it into the earthly realm, bringing it into the body, this is the energetic body aspect of it. This is as we're coming from the stars. Remember, the heart is the bridge between the upper chakras and the lower chakras. So we're coming from the ethers in our ideas, in what we're manifesting, and we're bringing it into order. The way to find order is through the sun, the moon, and the stars, which bring time. That's why we have time. That's why we are vessels of time in time, because we bring order. That is the structure and the order. And this is showing the structure and the order of the ideas and how they move through us, how we manifest through this time of structure and order, and knowing when is when and what is what and where is where. Right? So we have to pay attention to our inner world, which is the moon, and our outer world. So in the eclipse, what did that look like? As I said, the inner world was saying, hey, I got to eclipse this because some stuff been going on in the outer world, right? Some stuff that we've been holding on our heart. So now it comes really together when I say total eclipse of the heart, total eclipse that is happening in the heart, at the heart level, right? At the heart chakra level, there's a total eclipse that is happening. The sun and moon at this moment is doing the dance where they come together, where the moon comes in front, and that inner world that you haven't been paying attention to is coming about, and it's hiding, or it's eclipsing, which I see it as it's washing off, you know, that old ugly stuff that we don't need in order for us to ascend. So the question that I want to give us to work with is, the question is, as I said, it's always two-part. It's, you're looking at how it works for you, your individual self, as well as how it works for the collective, right? How it applies to you and your individual soul and what you are individually manifesting. And the second part is what we are seeing manifesting for the collective, because what we do for self affects the collective. And we're looking at both the individual and the collective which works very well with the energies of what we're looking at with the nodes, because we're coming from the we, south node in Libra, into the we, into the me, north node in Aries. So we definitely have to see that collective and the individual. So working it this way is very opportune. Like, I've always worked this, but I've never seen it so infused in this way, working with the nodes, working with what's really happening right now with the nodes also, right? Usually I'm just looking at individual and collective, but it's really on a, it's really saying something bigger now, being that we're talking about the social dynamics and how we're coming from the we and coming into our sovereignty of ourself, but with all due respect to the collective. So we're looking at how we're bridging this and how we're harmonizing with this. So the question that you ask self, spirit guide me, because I didn't write it down, but no worries, because you will definitely get the question either tomorrow, or I may just put it in the link below so you can read it and have it for yourself. I'm going to put all of these in the link. For those of you who have seen the previous ones, I'm going to go back and put the information in the link so you can read it for yourself. So with that, the question we're asking, since this is about guidance and order, we're asking ourselves, what is it that we need that has shown? What is the guide that has been guiding us? What is the order that we need that guides us in our individual soul unfoldment, as well as for the collective? Right? So you also want to look at what is the way, what is how it's been guided, what is the order of the collective that has been showing its guide or sharing a guide for the collective. The will and understanding. There we go. That's, I knew spirit would bring it to me. The will and understanding. How are we using our will and understanding, our personal individual soul will and understanding, towards the guidance for the order and the structure, right? For our individual manifestation, and for the collective, the same thing. How are we seeing the collective use the will and understanding collectively, right? Meaning the conscious and subconscious mind collectively. How has the collective been using that will and understanding for guidance, for the structure of what is coming in? What are we bringing in for this new transformation collectively? So remember, ultimately, I'm always talking about the 5D, the new earth, because all of this is helping us to transcend into that. And congratulations to those of us who are utilizing this, because this is all about perspective. This sun moon is also a perspective. If you look at it, you look at where we all were placed, everyone had a different perspective. And according to your natal chart, you all have a different perspective of how this energy is personally working with you, as well as how we can apply it to the collective. And it starts with self. So let this sun and moon energy really give you a true new perspective in what we are manifesting. So we're now at the stage of giving order and structure by the guidance of our will and understanding, and the other celestial bodies that play a part. Those are the stars. When it says the stars, it's all the other celestial bodies, the constellations and all of that, that have an effect on where we are. And believe me, it is changing the paradigm. It is changing the perspective. That's why you see me glowing the way I'm glowing, because I'm knowing what I'm knowing. And it is a beautiful thing. Get your glow up, get your glow on, get into your energy centers, because all of this is so intrinsic. It's all part of your manifestations. And remember that it works if you work it. So for minds, like I said, also disclaimer, I know I said I would catch us up by tonight, but you may not see this video till in the morning, in the wee hours. I had a meeting with the Soul Tribers, the group, tonight, as we were discussing this, and those of us who were in the workshop from the previous. So it works, like they are seeing it, that it works if you work it, and we're all grateful and thankful to share this experience. So also comment, remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And if you want to be a part of the Sojourners, the Soul Tribe, those of us that are really working this at a intimate level and doing the work and knowing more, feel free to comment. If you're interested, I will leave my information, my email or information where you can reach me and become a part of that community as well, because we are building and it's growing, and it's something I've been working on for 2 years. We have been working for 2 years, and it's definitely a growing community. And these times that are very pivotal, really pivotal, highlights we're dawning upon a new era. So I'm excited. Let's utilize these energies. Let's look at what the sun and moon not only is saying out there, but what it's saying in here, and not allowing ourselves to be eclipsed by the eclipse, but knowing that it is highlighting the nodes and the nodal axis that's even taking you into a personal look in your personal nodes. So get that information in and let it be a part of your manifestation, because you are birthing something new and true just for you. So with that said, I believe that's all. If there's anything else, I will follow up tomorrow. We're all caught up, so we'll be doing one video a day for the next 3 days for the rest of this series. We will be on day 5 tomorrow, so be ready for that. And with that said, each one reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. Peace, love, and lights.